Commissioner Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, line item transfers. We didn't have it. We have none. So we'll move to item 5.
I make a motion to ratify the bills in the amount of $20,581.29 and approve the outstanding bills in the amount of $1,033,894.82.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Moving to item 6. Ms. Howell.
I just wanted to give a quick update on the hog bounty program. We've taken 719 tails so far, so we can take 281 more. I did host a predator control program on April 30th. It was a really good success. We had 45 attendees in total, 3 of those being volunteers and 2 vendors from Capital Farm Credit came and helped as well. We had Gillespie County, they have a predator management control co-op that the county members of the community kind of came together and they get some funding from the Texas Sheep and Goat Association. And so they have a predator control that way. So we talked about that and talked about how we could implement something like that in Blanco County. There's a lot of people interested in that. And so in conversations with some people to, get something rolling. There was also a lot of interest in adding a coyote bounty, and I'm not sure if maybe we can talk on it later, but either splitting the hog bounty or adding a separate coyote bounty, but just kind of wanted to put that in y'all's ears that has been a big ask from the community as well. And I can take any questions on that before I bring my guests up.
Question number 1 is, I'll go backwards. Coyote bounty, I'm personally fine with it. I suspect there are citizens in Blanco County who probably think feral hogs are the bane of everybody's existence, but start getting a little squishy when it gets to pretty animals like coyotes.
Yes.
So, I think that will have to be a discussion.
Okay.
And you might want to visit with commissioners and figure that out.
Sure.
I would say, again, this is my personal view. I do not want to take from or rob from the hog program to do it.
I agree.
Because I think the hog program is pretty important and
Yes.
has been fairly successful.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to ask if you thought we ought to consider increasing the dollar amount a little bit, but then again, tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm under the impression that you catch fewer in the hot weather than you do in the cold weather.
That could be true. I think, in my opinion, it depends more on kind of the rainfall pattern. Right now it's been kind of slow just because there hasn't been any rain, but now that we have gotten rain last week, I wonder if I'll start getting more tails in.
So, and lastly, I'll stop.
You're good.
There's, as long as the tails, a Blanco County tail, we don't, it doesn't matter where it comes from, does it? I mean, it doesn't matter who it comes from.
Doesn't matter who it comes from.
So, because I don't want to take county money for tails on our property. But as long as the tails get to somebody who can use them,
Absolutely.
that's okay, isn't it?
Yep, and we've had quite a bit of that too. There's some property share going on as well, and as long as it's in the county and everybody's in good agreements about it, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Okay. Want to keep going?
Yeah, sure. So just a few highlights for 4-H, kind of switching gears here. Our major stock show season was a really great success this year. We had 21 members entered in major stock shows, which is an increase of 5 from last year. 7 of those students were first-time major show participants. We had somebody as young as 3rd grade enter as well, and she had a lot of fun. She couldn't make it today, but I did bring some other kiddos. They showed a variety of species. We had quite a few steers this year. There was actually 5 more cattle exhibitors this year than there was last year. So our steer numbers are going up this year. Swine, goats, lambs, and they competed at the Hill District Grandstand, Fort Worth, San Angelo, San Antonio, Houston, and Austin. 7 of those qualified for the sale, but many of them had really high placings and earned some ribbons and some other money for their breeding stock there. We also had a livestock judging contest at our District 10 event, our spring roundup event. We had 8 students compete, which is an increase of 2 from last year. Our intermediate team placed 5th overall, and they gained valuable experience in evaluation, decision-making, and public speaking. So since they got to practice public speaking, I want to come up. I'll just kind of let them share their experience with shows and livestock judging and how much fun they had.
So you're being recorded, and you're gonna be preserved for all time in this wall of records. So the first thing that she likes to have is your name.
My name is Lila Graham. I got 10th overall individual at District 10 livestock judging meet this year. As she said, our team placed 5th overall. I also showed lambs and goats this year. My biggest accomplishment this year was probably getting 3rd in my class with my my commercial U at San Antonio. She'll probably go on to, we'll either keep her and show her next year, or we will sell her this coming summer. At the District 10 livestock, my name is Riley, and at the District 10
Your
livestock,
name is Riley.
Thomas,
Say it again.
Riley Thomas,
How do you spell that?
Ryllee,
I know that, the last name.
Thomas.
Thomas, thank you.
And I got 1st place at the livestock judging contest over the juniors. And then for showing at San Antonio, I got pinned but didn't get placed, so that's kind of good.
What grade are you in, Riley?
Huh?
What grade are you in?
I'm in 5th grade.
And what's your plan when you get out of school?
A lawyer?
You're gonna be a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else you wanna?
No, sir.
Riley. There's a trait that lawyers have sometimes, and you need to learn that. It's good to learn this really early. A lot of times a lawyer will be winning the case, standing right where you are, and they'll be winning their case. And they don't know when to stop. And they just keep going and their case goes this way. So good job.
Hi, I'm Tinley Thomas, and at the grandstand or the District 10 roundup, I placed 15th overall in individuals. And as they said, we got 5th overall as a team for the intermediate. At grandstand, I placed 7th in my class, which is decent, I guess. It wasn't really a good year for us this year, but like we kept pushing our animals this year and everything. Like, I mean, we did better at San Antonio than we ever did, but since it's really hard, it's like hard to do anything at San Antonio. Yeah, it's kind of a rough year. But yeah.
And first name again is
Tinley.
Caitlin.
Tinley.
Caitlin. I can't hear it.
Tinley.
Tinley.
Yes, sir.
Tinley Thomas.
Yes, sir.
That's a T, double T. That's
It's a good brand, huh? Double D.
so you're in the 8th grade,
Yes, sir.
and your your participation numbers overall, as Ms. Howell mentioned, have gone up this year. So do you and your sister and the rest of your crowd, do you recruit or encourage other kids to think about ag projects?
I mean, like, I can try and convince some of my friends throughout the school year, and then since this year I did become an officer in the FFA, like, I want to, like, convince more kids to do it, since it is, like, an exciting and, like, fun process to be in, like, agriculture.
Which officer?
I'm the Sentinel.
You're what?
Sentinel.
Oh. That's not the one by the owl, is it?
No, that's the advisor.
Okay. What else? So your dad's here, right?
Yes, sir.
So you are perfectly authorized to be ditching school. And this is the second or third week in May, so there's a lot going on in school, right? I mean, it's really tough this time of year.
I mean, not really, we're not doing it. Besides, like,
I'm old, but I remember being a little slow this time of year.
yes, besides, like, all the afternoon stuff, like sports and everything, like, during the day, we're not busy. So, yeah.
Well, I can tell you that we don't get a lot of, I wish we got more of your time coming into Commissioner's Court. And we're very appreciative that you did. And I guess we better give more time because there's more to come, right?
Hi, my name is Cole Moller. This is my senior year. I'm all done with stock show, but this year I participated at all stock show majors excluding state fair and placed at San Angelo, Houston, Austin, and Grandstand. So pretty good year for me. I'll take it. So everybody's had a pretty hard year this year, so I'll take it.
So Cole, if I've got my numbers right, I don't think I believe them. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm told that the last time I looked, there's 52 weeks in a year.
Yes, sir.
But I'm told that you have participated in more than 54 shows in a year.
No, sir.
Okay.
Just the majors. So Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Angelo, and Austin. So just the majors and county too. I won the sheep show.
Well, but you do a lot of jackpots too, right?
Yes, sir. Some. This year I didn't participate in as many as I used to, but I participated in 3, didn't place at any of them. So
Maybe your dad just thinks it feels like 54 shows.
definitely for sure.
Your whole career, how many have you placed in?
Placed in over 45 shows over the state of Texas. Yep. And had a blast doing it. Definitely teaches work ethic, that is for sure. But well, I'll leave y'all to the next person.
So graduation is,
May 29th or 30th.
and after graduation, what's up?
Going to become a certified electrician.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep, and I've already got a job lined out whenever I get out of school, so all good here. Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Ava Craig and I'm a senior in high school. I've been showing steers since I was in 3rd grade, so for 10 years. And this year I participated in county, the grandstand, and I actually got 1st place in my class, which was really exciting for me. And then I went to Fort Worth and I finished my career at San Antonio. And Carly was a big help this year, making sure that we had everything lined out. And actually, one of my steers lost their ear tag like 4 times. And so she was very helpful, making sure that we had everything lined out and all the right people there to make sure that everything was perfect. And so we're really grateful for the livestock industry and everything that she does for us. And we've learned so much responsibility and work ethic and time management. And we're just so thankful for everything.
So if you were a county commissioner, would you keep her around?
I would, yes. Easily.
Ava, if I'm right, you're quite an athlete as well.
Yes, sir.
So, I think everybody here probably knows it, but I would hate for it to go without being said, how hard it is to do that.
Yes.
Be an athlete and ready to show it.
Yes, it is kind of hard, but I find it really enjoyable to be able to devote so much of my time to athletics and livestock and school at the same time. And I honestly think that it's made me more easily able to stay on top of my studies and maintain a like high GPA and stuff like that. And I find it very honorable of myself to be able to do that compared to people that are only involved in one thing instead of 4 different things at the same time.
Makes you get up pretty early.
Yes. Yes, sir.
What happens after graduation?
I'm going to Texas A&M, and I got into Mace Business School, so I'll be studying there for the next 4 years at least.
Okay. Studying, did you say?
I got into business. I think I'm going to study financial advising, but I'm not completely positive yet. Hopefully once I.
At the main A&M campus?
Yes, sir.
So that's the base school, I believe.
Yes, I got in there. And then I
Awesome.
think
That's
I'm
great.
going to try to get into the business honors program after this first year.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Who was it that you're on the volleyball team.
Yes, sir.
Who was it that I embarrassed terribly?
I think it might have been me. I feel like spectacular.
So they called you up on the trailer?
Yes, sir.
You got to do the countdown?
Yes, sir.
But for once, the fireworks actually went off pretty much on time.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Back to what we're really here about, animals and science. And so I was asking the others, the numbers seem to be going up. I was getting pretty depressed that the program was getting less important in Blanco County.
Yes, sir.
But I'm curious if you think that you and the other young ladies are setting an example and possibly encouraging others to get involved.
I think that we are. I think that since me and my family have been in it for 10 years, I think that we've shown that it is capable of doing and it is fun to be in that environment. I know that a few people moved from another town, but I also know that me along with them were encouraging other people to do it and let them know that it's a fun and it's a really good industry to be a part of, and that you can do it on top of doing school and sports at the same time.
I will tell you that I resent all of you all because you're so good. You get more than one animal sometimes in a show in the same class.
Yes.
And you'll pull your friends out of the stands. Like, oh, my daughter was once pulled out of the stands to show a lamb.
Yes, sir.
Never showed a lamb. You know, no collars, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You do it like, well, that's fine, but when she gets back in the stands, then she goes, I think I want to show a lamb.
Yeah, I had one of my friends made me show, I think, a turkey this year, but I definitely didn't want to show those again. So I was pretty happy that was a one-time thing.
Well, we had 1 year with Lambo, and that was it. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
And then just kind of rounding out my report on 4-H this year, we do also have an archery team, or not team, they're individuals, but we do have an archery program within 4-H as well, and they competed for the first time this year at the Shooting Sports Extravaganza. That contest is designed for first year archers, and well, they have other shooting sports too, but I brought archers. It is at our Texas 4-H Center in Brownwood. We had strong scores across the board, including a first place finish with one of our kiddos. But most importantly, they had fun and they all want to do it next year again. So looking forward to that. We've also received several grants and donations this year under 4-H. I was able to apply and receive $500 from the 4-H Foundation grant, and with that, we were able to buy an incubator to do hatching in the classroom. I've done that twice so far. I had 4 chicks hatch this morning, so it's going well. We've also received a $1,000 donation from a parent involved in the archery project as well. And $1,000 came from Capital Farm Credit to develop our veterinary science program, and I'm looking forward to starting that in the fall. We also were given 2 tabletop hydroponic gardens. It's like the water on the bottom and then growth plants on the top, and it just kind of fits in your kitchen. It's really interesting. But the Texas Department of Agriculture actually came to the office and dropped that off for us a few weeks ago. So we haven't started that yet, but we're looking for some partnerships this summer to get those growing. But across all contests, they all showed a tremendous growth, responsibility, and enthusiasm. As you can tell, they had fun and really enjoyed showing this year. So thank you for all your support in the 4-H program and helping us make that happen. I've also got some numbers from the Blanco County Youth Show, if y'all would like those as well. So we had 184 exhibitors. This is total across the show, 4-H and FFA. 357 entries total in the show. The number difference on there is some of them didn't quite make weight this year. We had 24 broilers, 17 steers, 62 goats, 62 swine, 51 shop, 56 rabbits, 75 lambs, and 5 turkeys. We had 190 sales slots, which is up from 2024. Our sale total was $448,550, and add-ons were $241,825. The wild game dinner add-on was able to bring up all the averages. That totaled $92,965.92. And so the total sale amount was $840.92, which exceeded last year's total. So our sale numbers are still increasing. The scholarship fund received $13,848 during the auction with the salsa contest and other donations. Our show this year is, it kind of fell weird with New Year, so we, as a board, or them as a board, decided to push it back to December 29th and 30th, and the sale is going to be on the 3rd, so it's going to go back to that 1 week instead of 2-week schedule. But that is all I have.
4-H camp in Brownwood.
Yes.
My daughter went there for years and years, and I look forward to it more than she did because I got to go to Underwoods in Brownwood.
Yeah.
So if you ever need a volunteer, like to ride along, drive, do anything, go in Brownwood, I'm your guy.
I appreciate that.
As long as I get to go to Underwoods.
Yeah, we'll go.
Commissioner, anything you want to address?
Your 4-H BB shoot is going to Arkansas?
Yes, our
July
4-H BB gun team is going to Arkansas again this year. They went last year as well, and I don't think they placed, but that doesn't matter. They had loads of fun. So we wish them great success this year as well.
So is there anything else you would need from us?
No, that is my long-winded report.
I'm really glad you,
I really appreciate their parents letting them be out of school for this.
yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Harley, is Gretchen here?
Yes.
There she is. I couldn't see her. So we'll move to item 7.
I'm Gretchen Sanders, Blanco County Extension Agent, Family and Community Health, and good morning to you all. I think I wasn't gonna talk about the camp at Brownwood, but I do wanna tell you, we have 4 kids going to camp, and they are actually using Tractor Supply Paper Clover campaign funds. So we get 90% of the money raised at the store in Blanco in a fund for us with the Texas 4-H Foundation, and we can pull it out for leadership or camps. So we had 4 takers for that, and then Carly has 5 going to judging camps, and we're using that money to fund those. And then this week we're accepting applications for the District 10 4-H Leadership Lab, and we hope to use that money to send them as well to, so that would be, we've got 2 camps plus 2 different types of judging camps and then leadership labs. So it'd be like 5 events, and all these kids are being reimbursed or their fee is paid for. So we really like those Tractor Supply funds.
Is the leadership camp one where they get on the bus and they go to Stephenville?
They're going to Alto Frio this year, so they'll be on the river. But there are 4 kids going to Brownwood, so I can let their mamas know that they might have a drive or a driver. Yeah, okay. I do want to start with the Walk Across Texas program. We've done that as county employees in 2023 and 2024, and it was a success. I wanted to tell you about a new version of this program. It's called Walk Across Texas History, and it's actually a 4-week versus an 8-week program. There's 2 routes, and of course, this is visiting virtual visits to Texas history sites. But there's one called the Runaway Scrape. It's 416 miles. And it highlights the post-Alamo timeframe from Gonzales to San Jacinto. And then the other one is called a historical site program, and it introduces the participants to 36 sites and what it means to be a Texan. It shows forts, homes all over the state, and that one is 540 miles. So the one that we did in the past was, like I said, 8 weeks, and I believe the county employees were given 8 hours if they participated, 4 hours if they participated.
Leave it to Mr. Can keep us.
I'm glad. Yes, I thought it was like a whole day. But I know the county employees appreciate that, and it does, lessen our healthcare costs. So it's a good program for us to participate in as far as insurance is concerned. And I would love to put that together and have our county employees participate in that. We could get it going probably Sunday. I was thinking like Sunday week, which would be the 25th of May.
Unfortunately, I'm looking at the last words on the agenda item, and it says informational only.
Okay.
We meet again May the
27th.
27th. What if the commissioners, I haven't asked, I don't know. What if the commissioners were willing to commit that we definitely will support the program as we did last year, but we will not formally do it until the 27th. But we could still get started.
Sure, we can start at any time. It usually runs like the weeks are like Sunday through Saturday, but I could get it set up and go in. And
Gretchen, it gets really hot.
Well, did you notice that we're going from a 8-week to a 4-week? Yeah,
Okay.
So we can get this done.
Okay.
Yes, and develop good habits and be healthy.
Well, then I'll open it up to the commissioners if you all would be interested in next commissioners court adopting the same thing we've done in the last year's authorizing. It'd be 4 hours administrative leave for doing what?
For doing either program, and y'all can pick. We can do the Runaway Scrape or historical sites.
But there's a milestone. There's something you have to accomplish.
Yes, so the hours were awarded to everybody that finished the Walk Across Texas program.
What does it mean to finish it?
It was, the previous program was, I think, 840 miles because you walked from one side of Texas to the other. This one is scaled down. So it would either be 416 miles or 540 miles.
Okay.
All in 8 weeks with your team, just like in the past.
Okay.
But you learn at the same time. Getting healthy and learning. That's good.
Commissioners? Anyone have a problem with it?
No.
So Connie will put it on the agenda for the 27th to formally approve.
Okay.
We're all in.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. The next program I wanted to tell you about is called Cooking Well with Friends. Last our Texas Community Futures Forum, where we polled county residents about what they wanted from AgriLife. And I don't know about your homes, but the biggest question in my home is what is for supper? What's for dinner? What are we eating? So it seems that is the case in most homes. So I brought in the Cooking Well with Friends. This was a 4-lesson series where I provided all the kitchen equipment, the spices, knives, everything that they needed, plus Ziploc bags. And the participants brought groceries and we prepped freezer meals. We created 224 meals for 16 participants, and they follow the dietary guidelines for Americans. So they're low fat, low sodium, low sugar, but really flavorful with all those spices and marinades. And everyone was able to take 4 meals home in each class and either put them in the freezer or cook them that night for their supper. But it helps stock your freezer, so sometimes it's a crazy night and you don't want to have to wonder what's for dinner. So that was a really good program. We finished the series in April, and the ladies in the class said that they wanted to keep going. So we're just gonna keep on going. We've been able to use the FBC Church, Blanco Baptist Church. They let us use their fellowship hall for free, and which is really nice. So we just set everything up and put all the meals together, and everybody goes home happy. So it's a good program. So we're gonna keep that going. I said ladies, I actually have had several gentlemen take the class with us. One was a grandpa, and he was in charge of cooking for his daughter and grandchildren, and he loved it because you don't have to think about what you're gonna cook. So any questions about that?
Does anyone drive down from Johnson City for that?
Yes, I've got people from all over the county that come to the class. Yeah, Jill Taylor is like my #1 participant from Johnson City, so.
So you're using the Baptist church. I got no problem with that. We have lots of churches with lots of great facilities. They built the CRC with that kitchen that was supposed to be centered around you.
I'm gonna talk about that in just a minute. I've got it scheduled. Yes. I'll just keep talking. How about that? Like a lawyer. The 2025 Blanco County Youth Exhibit Hall was held in January, and it's open, of course, to 4-H, FCC, and FFA members. This year we were down a little bit, and it's because the kids are not in school. We don't have participation from the culinary program at Blanco High School. We used to have all those students who would bake and enter. The prize money that we paid out was almost $2,000, and then we had about $11,000 in the silent auction, and every item that was up for sale sold, which is always exciting for the kids. They've continued to save their money for college camps, supplies for next year, houses, as Commissioner Leisman told us a few years ago. I've got one participant that is saving for a car that is one of those Sanders boys told me he's saving for a car. So, which is good. He's thinking ahead. So that money will go to that as well as his college. So we did a survey last year and asked them what they're spending their money on, both from exhibit hall and stock shows. And the comments were, I didn't get a lot of feedback from it, but the comments were interesting. There was a lot of kids that were turning part of their money, turning it over and spending it on baseball equipment, softball equipment, because that was fixing to start right after the show. So it's a good use and a little break for their parents too. So in line with this contest, we are doing classes at the CRC this summer in the kitchen and their meeting room. And we're going to do a sewing class that's one day, 2 days of cooking, and then we're gonna have a craft day. So the idea is that they're learning stuff that fits in with the exhibit hall and those categories. And ideally at the craft one, maybe they could finish something, have it complete and ready to go for the show in December. Any questions?
So where I was going with that earlier about the kitchen and the CRC is, I know the CRC is sometimes problematic as far as scheduling or whatever, but I noticed that the exhibit hall is equally set up for you to maybe do your lessons. I was
Yes.
wondering if you're using it.
I have preferred to use the CRC kitchen just because it's full of kitchen supplies.
Okay.
So that's why we've been cooking there.
Okay. And
Yes,
so you are still using that.
yes.
Good. That's good. It was
Yes.
built- it was built for you.
We were just there yesterday putting safety day bags together, so yes,
That's good.
and they're great, so. All right, well, thank you.
Gretchen, I'm sorry, you just mentioned something, but why don't you go ahead and give a shout out about the safety day?
Oh, safety day will be on Thursday. Carly is the coordinator this year and we're ready and it's gonna be 100 degrees. The weather has been so nice and this is offensive that it's 100 degrees on safety day, but we're gonna make it. So we've got quite a few speakers. We've got a lady from Blanco ISD is gonna discuss vape awareness. We have Dr. Crowbot is coming to talk about small animal safety. We have water safety with LCRA. Catherine Rutherford is going to do the welcome and talk about not mowing your yard in flip-flops and why you shouldn't. And she's going to tell them her story. So we've got lots of good stuff. Farm Bureau is paying for I don't know if you want to add to this since you're the coordinator, but Farm Bureau is paying for the lunch for the speakers, the volunteers, and the teachers and the bus drivers. So we'll have a great day.
In a way, I guess, it's miserable heat, but in a way, I guess it can make a point about farm safety because you want us not overheat.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Sunscreen, drinking water, all that. So yeah.
And I'll add to that the volunteer fire department in Round Mountain will be there as well. They're bringing their truck with them, so we're excited about that.
Actually, all the fire departments are gonna be there.
Oh, all the fire departments are there. Sorry, only one contact me. But yeah, thank you for helping me.
Anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 8. So Ms. Fry, before she left us, was advocating for, I think, possibly Gillespie County, but I know other counties try to manage the process of hot fund applications by creating windows, like a drop-off calendar. And I think she told me that, I hate to keep saying Gillespie County because I might be wrong, but if it is Gillespie County, whatever county it was she was telling me about, they do it twice a year. And, sometime in January and sometime in July. And I think it would be a good idea to funnel requests so that the court can manage the hot funds better. If we do that, if we agree to drop off calendar, the exceptions that I would make would be, we already made an exception. We already did one for Light Spectacular this year, and we are working pretty heavily on one for Gem of the Hills this year. So I would say the Light Spectacular one was outside of it, and wouldn't be outside of it this year. If Light Spectacular wants money, if you agree to a drop-off calendar, then they need to comply with the date this year. But if Gem of the Hills can finish theirs and get it in, I would be okay with making an exception for that one earlier than whatever date we pick, if you pick a date. So that's my proposal, and if I had to be more specific, I would say the last regular meeting in January and the last regular meeting in July would be, well, let's back up. Those would be times to consider requests, so you want to back it up, I suppose, to the 1st of January and the 1st of July for deadlines to submit your request for hot funds. That's a thought. If you want to improve on that, you want to do it quarterly, you want to do it weekly. Or not at all.
I don't have a problem doing it like that. I'm wondering if that January is kind of a tough time to getting all everything swapped over and moving into the new year. I don't know what the best month would be ideally, is my only concern.
Yeah. I don't either. It's in a special fund. It doesn't really affect our budget specifically. You know, every year we're gonna budget so that hot funds can be spent.
But I guess also trying to think about the person that's doing the application, you know, they're trying to get through Christmas and trying to get through New Year's and all the hot funds are due, you know, our applications due. Not to make excuses for them, I have no idea, but anyway.
So you could make it February 1 and considered by the court at the end of February. You could make it August 1. I just didn't want to burden the court with a bunch of stuff in August with the budget going on.
Right.
But that's not bad. It's not terrible.
Well, they can work within the 6 months between the whole time, right? Or putting some together.
Well, sure.
But it's not,
Well, that's kind
there's
of,
not a narrow window there.
that's kind of the point of this, is to alert them that they can be prepared for the submission date. So what, do you have, someone have a?
I would like to make a motion to establish a drop-off calendar date, and the January 1 and June 1, doesn't seem to me to be a problem, but if y'all would want to go, February 1 and July 1 or something. August? Yeah. Okay, February and August. Is that what we're saying? Okay, February 1, August 1. For the hot funds application submitted.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Eager, discussion.
Judge, the Jim of the Hills said they should have theirs in by the 21st.
Of May?
Oh, yes, sir.
So would you agree that that one can be accepted from this requirement?
Oh, yes, sir. I hope so.
And I suppose the court's always willing, always able to make an exception, if you want to make an exception, but I think this will help the court to manage, because you can't tell who's going to submit what in the future in terms of what they want out of the hot fund. This will help the court to compare and contrast requests. Anything else?
Would it be, now that we just said that, would it be better to have it in July? That way, when we're looking at our budget, we can kind of go and see exactly what is available in the hot funds at that time frame.
Well, I like July better, but not for the reason you said, because I think we can always see what's available, because it's a special fund. And it sits there and you can just see what it's doing. But I like July better just because I think August gets.
Yeah.
So
But
I
it-
wouldn't mind if it was February and July.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't change it. What?
Would that be a change to your motion?
Well, I can change it to February and July, right?
And
I'll still say.
Commissioner Eager still seconds. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, TxDOT grants. Sheriff Jackson. Extra patrols on the highway.
These are two grants that we've applied for through TxDOT for traffic enforcement. One of the grants is Click It or Ticket, and the other grant is Operation Slowdown. It's to reimburse officers, go out and do patrols and look for people not wearing their seat belts, or for those exceeding the speed limit during certain times of the year. And TxDOT said they'll be doing the Click It or Ticket operation in July and the Operation Slowdown in August.
Who applied for the grant?
I did.
You did the work?
Yes.
So you're now becoming a grant writer?
No. This was very easy and simple. This was fill in the blank on their TxDOT website.
Looking to draft a grant writer.
We tried.
Anything else on that? Sounds pretty simple.
Yeah, it just reimburses the county for the salaries. There is a match, and the match is the vehicle in my time doing the paperwork.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone here? Motion to approve.
Textile grant, like County Sheriff's deputies to work extra patrols on.
Is there a second? Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. While you're here, item 10, the Axon field trial.
Yes, we're gonna try it, it's called Response through Axon, and it's through the body cameras. The body cameras send the GPS signal as well as live streaming to communications, so they can see where the officer is once they're away from their car. Currently, our cars have GPS, so we can see where they're at, but if the officer leaves the vehicle, we don't know exactly where they are unless they tell us on the radio, which, you know, I experienced this running through the bushes after somebody, and nobody knows where I am. And I'm out in the hill country, and, you know, I can't really say where I am either. But this would allow us to have a map and see exactly where the officer is.
Can you overlay that map into your CAD system now?
Yes, it will send the coordinates to the CAD map as well.
So the dispatcher is not looking from one map to another map to try to figure out where the
Right,
officer's
we'd like to,
running.
yes, that would be the best to have it. This trial we're gonna do, we're gonna use their map, and if we decide to do it, then there's some integration that has to happen to make it work.
I make a motion to authorize the county judge to accept and sign the Axon field trial agreement pending county attorney approval.
Is there a second?
No, second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. So I just been clicking on based on Commissioner Eager's questions and the way the agenda item is written. This is a trial?
Yeah, this is free, we're not having to pay for this.
But it's like an experiment.
Yeah, we need to find out in all the different areas of the county if it will actually work, because it works off cellular. So we want to go out to high, and we go up to Round Mountain to ensure that it works and see how it works to see if it's worth the coming to the court.
So it's probably working someplace like Brazoria County, someplace that's flatter. Well, okay, is it working anywhere?
Yes, oh yes, the agencies, yeah, the agencies that are using it, they think it's wonderful, they love it.
So we're not the first guinea pig.
No, we're not.
We're just an unusual one because of our terrain.
Correct, yes, sir.
So have you looked at Motorola? Does Motorola handheld radio with a GPS function be able to do something similar or no?
Yes, they're just way more expensive. But yes, they can do it. And you have to buy the Motorola product.
I'm just talking about the radio that's on your hip with
Yes.
GPS function built into that.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does. But there's additional products you have to purchase in order for it to send the GPS signal to the CAD system.
Okay.
Well, then what good is it that it does it? If it does it, but we don't, I mean, you go out in the bushes right now, it's sending a signal, but we don't know anything about where you are.
Correct.
Well, what good is that?
Well, it's not sending, I mean, it has the feature in it, but it's not
Yeah.
sending it, but
Yeah, just not sending it.
it can
It
look
has-
at his radio and tell us where it's at.
Yeah, I have to say,
So we've had this feature a long time.
The radios typically come with, it's part of the feature set that comes with the radios.
How long is the trial?
1 month.
1 month.
But the radios or the feature set in the radio comes with this. However, we don't have the software and the programs to make it actually read back.
Are we sure it's that much more expensive? You compared?
Yes, I've got a cost
It's
from,
not cheap, so.
yeah.
Usually.
The cost for this to do 21 units is gonna cost approximately 5,000 a year. To do Motorola, I think it was in the $50,000-$60,000 a year.
Okay.
It's Motorola, that name.
Is that setup or is that setup plus, or is it just 50,000 a year, every year, annual fees?
Annual fees.
Okay.
Yeah. It's expensive because to have that, you've got to have the radio, which we do. We have the handheld radios. It doesn't work in the car radios. It works on the handheld radios. And then you have to have the software. You have to have the cellular. capabilities. And then you have to have the software and you have to have the computer and communications to do it. It's on a different monitor.
I didn't think of the cellular capabilities that would need to have.
There's a motion and a second to accept the field trial agreement. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. And opposed? Motion carries. Item 11 is the, hang on. The Kerr County, Granville County Jail Services. Agreement, if you will. This is just a reciprocal, isn't it?
Yes, it's reciprocal. Kirk County's gone up to 110, but we haven't used them, but they do have hospital capability there at the jail. So I just want to keep them on, just keep it up to date.
The other hospital capability, the one I guess you use occasionally is a permit.
Yeah, it's supposedly we're still at 80 with them, but I'm pretty sure they went up. But our contract as of right now with them shows 80. I just want to keep Kerrville as an option.
If Kerr is 110,
110.
what have we, what,
We're at 58 right now, but my new proposal, talked to Judge Riley just heard that, our commissioner.
Judge?
Well, his name.
Watch out, Judge.
We're talking about going to 65, new budget year from 58.
was that in this agreement?
No, this is just a renewal agreement with Kerr. They just said, because they've gone up
So it's a renewal, but it was a new price
a new price
on their side, not on
on
ours.
their side.
Okay.
I moved to authorize the county judge and the county sheriff to sign an updated interlocal cooperation agreement between Kerr County and Blanco County.
Is there a second? Commissioner Riley, discussion. I haven't seen, hardly any Kerr inmates coming in our direction.
No, it's not we don't have, same with Garnet, we don't bring there, it's not a dual.
Lately, it seems like it's mostly Lano, maybe a few Hayes.
It's Lano, Hayes, and Kendall, right now that we have a reciprocal both ways. We're still by far the cheapest. But we will go up a little bit.
So I guess being the cheapest is how we get to house some prisoners, which is good because we're utilizing the facility on the one hand. On the other hand, you keep getting these near perfect scores with the Jail Standards Commission, and they, you know, the guy says you're his favorite jail, and it seems like it's a pretty nice facility. It seems like we ought to be able to command a good price.
Well, I'm afraid if we go up and try to be better, because really Hayes doesn't need us anymore. They got a new jail and enough staff. And a new wing that opens up. Kendall County's kind of the same way. Their new jail opened and they're not in population crisis. Lano is not in good shape. I mean, it's just not. I'll take them all down. So.
Yeah.
The cheaper price is an incentive for them to come over here.
Right. And I'm starting to see it again, other counties statewide, ask it. But we have a lot of, I can pick and choose too. I don't want them over here. I know they're overpopulated, but that's a lot of gang problems. I don't pick and choose. And who we take. That's in our contract. And that when they have to come pick them up, it's about a law.
Well, I'll just take the opportunity to compliment you that insisting on that provision has worked out well for us. We don't seem to have the kind of problems, gang kind of problems that you see elsewhere.
No.
So, all right. Anything else? Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed. Takes us to item 12, the paving projects for Commissioners Weir and Riley. How do we do this? I've got a paving bid on precinct 1 and precinct 4. Precinct 1, precinct 4. Precinct 1. Precinct 4. And precinct 4. There's 2 of them. And one. Okay.
There may be one in your packet that came in last before we left. So looking at that.
All right. I shall. And I have one more for precinct 4. Oh, excuse me, 1.
Anna Morano.
While y'all are opening them up, the first 4 that went to both of you seem to be from the same bidders.
Yeah.
Are you all imagining collaborating on projects or not necessarily? I guess we don't know.
No, not necessarily. I would say no, not necessarily. We're doing it individually, but we just happen to go out at the same time.
Okay.
So, all right.
Let me ask one thing. Are there any of these roads that you're looking at that precinct 4 goes here and stops and precinct 1 picks up or vice versa?
No, sir. Okay. So I've got 4 bids here. And I'll start with the first bid from SCR Total Transports. And LCR Total Transports. And they are at $4 a yard. Total comes out to $327. 220. And the alternative bid for my cul-de-sacs with hot mix is $23 per square foot. Then I'll go to bid number 2, which is Dirtworks. They're coming in at $350 per yard, at a total of $286,307. And on the cul-de-sac with the hot mix of $14.75 a yard. Then I will go with available construction. And at $2.47 per yard for a total of $201,755.90. And he did his math a little bit different on the hot mix because he just put down $20,320 on the hot mix. And coming in at Cox Paving came in at a bid of $2.69 per yard. Total bid of $201,750, and a no bid on the hot mix.
So you're available, what was it, available, what was the name of that company?
Available construction.
They bid 247 per yard and their total price is 201,755.90.
Yes.
And Cox was at 269 per yard. And
They bid 75,000 square yards, which available construction is not here, but I do have Cox gentleman here, if he can help me out with that.
So
On your total square yards on your bid, you're 6,000 square yards shorter than. I just averaged on what you put, okay, and I'm gonna ask you another question. So
We just gotta, change it.
Oh, can you come up here for me, please? Yes, sir. I'm gonna ask you a question. What kind of, because everybody's on the AC 25 TR, the AC 15 P on this bid, and I know I put Delta rock.
Right.
What kind of rock are you gonna use?
I was not gonna use a white rock, I was gonna use a pre-coated rock. Probably come out of Lone Star or somewhere else, but yeah, I won't. I'll just be honest with you, I won't use white rock.
Why?
The last project y'all did, it looks like crap. I won't do it. It is.
Is it a better product?
The pre-coated rock, yeah, it is.
Cleaner?
Cleaner, it's just a cheaper, I mean, it's not cheaper, it's more expensive for me to buy, but it's a cheaper insurance for the county to get the job that they want.
And
It guarantees to stick a little bit.
you put a no bid on the hot mix.
No bid on the Homex, so we don't do Homex anymore.
what do you think of using a grade 5 in that cul-de-sacs?
35?
In the cul-de-sacs,
On the
just,
cul-de-sac?
yeah,
I wouldn't.
you wouldn't, you just stick it with a grade 4 and just shoot it?
I'd use a grade 3 if I was out on the cul-de-sac, but I mean, it's a bigger rock, you want. It's just my personal, you know.
Yes.
That's what I've done for a living. Yes, sir.
So, knowledgeable, ignorant.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you use hot mix anymore?
Well, we just don't do it. We specialize in chip seal, and we kind of specialize in a material it's a ground up tire rubber mixed with asphalt. We shoot it a little thicker. It's the product we use basically has a life cycle of about 12 years versus 7.
So that's why you do it, because you get a better life cycle?
That's
one of the
what we
reasons.
promote. Yes, sir. Yeah, we do all those things, and that's all we do anymore. Is asphalt rubber.
What rate are you shooting on that?
We normally shoot anywhere from 5 to 55.
Really?
Hundreds, yeah. You want that thicker application of asphalt because you take a 20% ground tire rubber, mix it with 80% liquid asphalt, and you don't want it melted. You want it kind of granular. That's what gives you a life cycle. And
On a grade 4 rock.
yeah, we do grade 4. We do a lot of grade 3 though too. But the grade 3, you can put a little more application, actually get you a little bit better life cycle.
Now, on a grade 4, would a 50 be too much?
Depends on the road. I mean, it's one of the things you look at the road and you see if it's a flush road, you can put a little less. If it's a dried up pavement, you can use a little more. I mean, it's kind of it's more of an art than it is a science, you know.
And, is what, you said you don't do hot mix, you do the other?
We do chip seal, yeah, basically, hot rubber.
Is that figured into your bids?
Yeah, that's what I based that bid on.
So you just bid what you consider a better product?
Yes, sir, yeah, I mean, that's not, and I'm not trying to be critical of anybody, but, the last job y'all did it.
So on this, on those 3 cul-de-sacs, would you drop it? or go
I actually wouldn't do cul-de-sac with them, you know, you'd be better off if you want to put hot mix.
No, with the number 3.
Was it 3? Yeah.
Yeah, would you do that on this job?
we look at it, depending on what the shape of the cul-de-sacs is.
Okay.
I mean, it's, you know, everything we do is, I mean, any of this chip seal work is, if you look at what the road you're paving is, you gotta take that into consideration. If it's in bad shape, you need to do some more work to it beforehand, and and I'll be honest with you, if it's in bad shape and we don't think it's worth paving, we'll tell you about it. We refuse not to show up sometimes if it's not prepped right.
You work all around the state,
We work all over the state of Texas, yes.
probably even beyond.
Yeah, we used to, try to get too old for that.
So,
It's just big enough.
So do you ever, you know, he was asking me a question about grade 3, and you said maybe.
Yes, sir.
Do you ever communicate with commissioners what if a commissioner wants, I really want you to do grade X? Do you take that into consideration?
Yeah, I mean, we take into consideration, you're the guys paying the bills, but we will give you our opinion of what needs to work and what won't work, you know, and I guess my thing is Blanco County is growing so fast, the traffic is getting so busy, I guess for lack of a better word. Grade 3 is a little bit, just a larger rock, stands up a little bit. The downside to grade 3 is though it's if you got people that like to complain a lot, it's a noisier pavement. Just a real noise. I mean,
Bicycles love it, right?
We've been through that before on 71. Yeah, we had to go back and change it. We did some grade 5 on 71 because they had, I guess it's a bicycle route. We did this was years ago that we changed and did some grade 5 up there, but I personally don't like the grade 5.
So the reason I asked you about grade 5 is luckily I only have one cul-de-sac. And in that cul-de-sac, of course, that's where the trash truck turns around and rolls that rock and everything else. So I did shoot it with a grade 5 and it has actually held up over time. But again, that's only one cul-de-sac for me.
Trash trucks are your worst enemy.
Oh, yeah.
They're heavy. I mean, I know we used to do some work in the city of Austin, but they actually end up going to put a concrete pad over they're stopping for a lot of concrete, I mean, for the trash trucks, because they're bad. I mean, they just, and these overloaded trucks nowadays are getting worse and worse. It's not getting easier. A lot of these county roads, these dump trucks guys are cutting across, and if there's no weight limits on them, they're tearing them up.
However, I also had an issue of grade 3 being more expensive than grade 4, so.
Right.
That was another.
It is more expensive.
Excuse me. To keep you from repeating yourself whenever we talk about mine, because you're bidding on it too.
Yes, sir.
When you're saying you're not gonna use Delta rock, you're talking about using a primed rock.
Right, it'll
Is
be
it a
pre-coated.
is it a prime limestone?
It'll
What is the
be a
rock?
class B or it'll be a class A or class B, but it'll be pre-coated with an asphalt.
Will it be
I
as
don't
hard,
know.
will it be as hard a rock as Delta?
they're gonna be doing, there's parts of those roads that ain't 18 foot wide.
Right, and that's why we just do it on the square yard, that way we go out, as we pave it, we might measure it the day we pave it.
But I'm listening to the product that he's gonna be using more so than,
And what do you hear? You said you're listening to the.
yeah, I mean, he's bid for a better product, with a better product as far as the rock goes. In my opinion, because it's gonna last longer, it's gonna stick better, he's looking at shooting something that we're not gonna have to mess with for 10 to 12 years. And that's what I think I'm trying to get to the county, for the county, is that when we're doing our projects, that our edges are good and we're seal coating every, around the roads every 7 years.
So are you saying you want to award it on best value?
I want to award it on best product. For the dollar.
I think we're saying the same.
Yeah.
Do we, is there anything to be said for a local company?
Absolutely. Especially one that's been in business since 1968. So they're obviously doing something right.
Man, I can get you a list of different jobs that we've done, and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's something they'll probably need to look at anyway. I mean,
So do we want to finish mine up or hear Tommy's, or?
Why don't we finish it?
Okay, finish mine up. Well,
do with me.
Hang on.
I want to make a motion that we accept Cox paving bid for doing the 1/4 seal coat on the county road specified in precinct 4.
Was there a second? I'm gonna second it. Just for discussion. Discussion. So if I got the bids right, 2 of the bids are outside your budget anyway. Looks like we budgeted in, your road projects, 250,000, and the top 2 bids were 286 and 327.
Absolutely.
So there's black marks against that anyway.
Right.
No other discussion? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Very good.
Thank you. You said it.
Good.
Thank you, Sid. It's my time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got here, I have 5 bids here. And what I was going out for was 38,300 linear feet, so 7.2 miles, 22 feet wide, all of Candelia Road from the city, the state park in the city of Blanco, all the way out to the county line. So we've been working on it for almost 2 years, prepping it, getting it ready, cleaning it up, so it's ready to shoot. And there's 5 bids here, and let's see. First bid I'm looking at here is with LCR. Is that you, sir? Yes. Yep. Okay. Y'all got a bid out here for that 7.2 miles. It's outside of my budget, but it's at $374,488. It's $4 a square yard. Another one here from Dirtworks, which is outside of my budget. It's $332,682, which is $358 per square yard. And I've got one here from Available Construction, which is, within the budget, it's $229,532 at $200 a square yard. I've got one here for Cox Paving. It's within my budget. It's $249,976 at $269 per square yard. And then I have one more here from Rubicava. And it's outside of my budget at $303,335.
Can you repeat that?
$303,335, which is $3.24 a square yard. So the way I look at it, tell me if I'm wrong, is the ones outside of my budget are outside of my budget. And I'd like to stay within it if I may. And so that narrows it down to two contractors here, and one being Cox Paving and the other one being Available Construction. Again, we just heard the conversation from Mr. Cox on why he would use the prime rock. I like prime rock. We've never used it in our bids. I had always thought that it was quite a bit more expensive than others. But it does have if I understand it right, it's got a heat factor, which is a lot better than just bare rock. So with the two considered, I have a tendency to go with the prime rock. And it's not as cheap. I got one at $247 and one at $269. But the $20,000 difference on 7.2 miles of chip seal is, to me, is a bargain for that length and that width being all primed. So I would like to make a motion to accept Cox Paving's bid for the $249,976.32 bid.
Is Commissioner Riley seconds discussion? This could have gone in the other discussion as well. So are we not really comparing apples to apples?
No,
Because if I heard you articulate it right, you're getting more out of the Cox bid than you are out of the Available bid.
I'm getting a prime rock, which I don't know if you consider that a premium rock compared to one that's not prime. As far as the difference between what that rock actually is, whether it's a limestone or versus a delta rock.
Okay, I'm not in the trenches like you all are. So you're getting a prime rock. The end result is a better product for the citizens of Blanco County to drive on.
I agree. Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Stick there.
Yes, sir.
So did everybody, in your mind, did everybody have the same chance to bid the same prime rock?
No, they didn't. They all bid delta.
No. I know what they did bid, but could they have bid?
I guess they could have. I'm guessing. I guess they could have. Yes, sir.
Did we specifically ask for delta?
Yes, sir, we did.
So if we put out a bid and we ask for a Ford and somebody bids on it, giving us a Lincoln. What's wrong with that?
I don't see anything.
If they give you a Dodge, then it's a totally different story.
Just the now you're getting into the age-old argument, Dodge, Chevrolet, and Ford, which is better.
If someone's offering, I don't, if they're offering a premium rock, I don't know if we, can we accept it at a little bit higher price, or do we have to say, no, we can't use that rock?
Is available a local company?
Yes, sir, they are.
They are. So, head to head.
I know where you're going. Do you think that they should have to go back out to rebid to change the specs to allow the other companies to bid the same product? However, Sydney has a specified oil that none of the other companies have, correct?
Right.
So maybe either,
Yeah, I guess where I'm going is, if we go out for bid and we say we want a certain level of quality, and somebody's willing to bid a higher level of quality to compete with people who are bidding a certain level of quality, that's to our benefit.
yeah, but if we're going out to bid and you specifically say, I want a Delta rock, and this company comes back with a lower bid because he used Johnson City crushed stone, then if you awarded it to the lower bid, it's, well, I bid this rock because that's what you told me to bid. So I understand what you're saying. I'm on the same page with you.
If you bid a lower bid, but nobody bid a lower bid except for one company.
Yeah.
And they're not giving us the higher product.
But
I don't know.
If they're going by if they're going, I know where you're going. If they're going by what was asked for on the sheet, which was Delta Rock, should they be given the opportunity to rebid it with Prime Rock or Coyote Rock?
You know, when you put it that way, it sounds like the answer is yes. Seems like the practicalities of it are, their bid ain't gonna be cheaper.
No. No,
But they're gonna have to price it with primer.
Right.
So it's gonna, their bids, we're only giving them a chance to raise their bid, really. Yes.
I would say yes.
But if you allow them to change their oil too, then that might be a different price.
Well, the oils were also on there as the AC
Right.
25 and the AC 15. Those were your two choices.
But the award that we just gave is not using that type of oil.
Yes?
What y'all asked for was AC 15.5 GR.
Yeah.
Or a, bill 15P.
Right.
They're both modified asphalts.
Yes.
What I'm bidding is even more modified than those two.
But it's not that number.
We make it ourselves.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yours is an isolated product that nobody else can get.
We're specialty products.
Yeah.
Okay.
The recycled products.
Which would make it even more expensive.
Tires.
I'm not an expert in coding. It just seems to me that if a bidder is willing to go above and beyond our specs and still try to compete, that's to our, then we get, it's to our benefit if we get more than we ask for. And he's still competitively bidding us. If he was the 332,000, we wouldn't be talking about it, I don't think.
Right.
We would say, well, you bid a rock we didn't ask for, and you're trying to have it improve the world we didn't ask for. But he didn't, he bid competitively.
$20,000 get a better. Yeah. Wrong. So, within 20 cents of the other one.
Which to me seems like a good buy, but
And that's why I'm considering it. If you look at work, previous work done, both companies have done work in the county. You can look at their work. You can see what they've done in the past. And I've had that opportunity also.
was that factored into your motion?
Yes, sir, somewhat.
Okay, well, I guess our choices are to, Commissioner Riley, a minute ago, you were talking like almost in terms of rebidding. I'm not sure that's necessary, but I'm not gonna argue with anybody if that's what they'd rather do. Or we can go forward with this motion.
In my motion, I'm not into rebidding.
So we have a motion on the table to accept Cox paving at 249,976. Seconded by Commissioner Riley. Still seconding? Is there any further discussion?
Can we ask our assistant county attorney on her legal opinion?
Sure.
Sorry, I seen you sitting back there.
That's all right.
Appreciate you.
I would feel more comfortable if we would let the other bidders bid on the superior product.
So, but the problem is he makes a product that they cannot bid on.
Okay.
They can't, unless they buy it from him, they can't get it anywhere else.
And we make it and we apply it, we don't.
Yeah.
make it and sell it.
So you can't do that. So either you can go back and change your specs to allow paving of this road and don't specify the oil and the rock. It's one way to do it. But I don't, that's.
And
up to
it's
you.
TxDOT approved
TxDOT.
product, but you shoot miles and
Yes.
miles of it for
Yes.
TxDOT.
The only thing that makes me uncomfortable is we gave specific specs of what people should bid on.
Well, let me ask you this, Ken. I've got 3 of them that are outside of my budget. So you have to go back and let all 5 people bid on that, even if the 3 of them are outside the budget.
And you're still not gonna get the same thing because Mr. Cox has the only product that.
Let me ask you this way. If we went out for bid for somebody to make us a sweater that has 50% wool, and we don't care what the other 50% is, and some bidders bid on a sweater with 50% wool, and another bids on a sweater that has 60% wool, but he bids lower, how is that a problem?
That's not a problem.
Well, that's basically what this sounds like. We're getting the same, service with a better product that lasts, if I heard his testimony right, instead of 7 or 8 years, it lasts up to 12 years.
So maybe that's my ignorance of what people were bidding on and what the product actually is.
I mean,
So if it's still apples to apples, but one's.
They could have, well, it's not entirely apples to apples, but they could have bid, if they make their own oil or if they go and buy better rock, they could have bid. They bid the lower, they bid the base, and they were still higher.
But can I intercept one thing? We take the rock out of it because it just says using a number 4 rock. It doesn't say delta. So take that pre-coated rock out of it. So now it's just down to the type of oil. And he's saying that your oil has an AC 25 TR. It's an emulsion based paint, emulsion based. No emulsion. Okay, it's what did you say? It's.
The only one there is 25 TR or the 15P.
Right.
They're 2 modified asphalts, polymers.
Right.
They're modified. We take basically a 6422 asphalt and modify it from
the ground tire.
Yeah.
We have
Some of it-
it on that.
yeah.
We don't buy it from the tank that's been sitting for 6 months.
Right. Some, and the oil that he's providing, it does not have either AC 25 or AC 15 in it. And that's clearly spelled out
In this,
in the specs,
The
the
bid.
the bid specs.
okay. But it's still the same product, but better.
It's not the same, it's a different product, but it's, in his opinion, a better product.
Get a better bang for the buck. $20,000 higher, but you're gonna get a product that's gonna last.
Versus the AC stuff.
You can look at it too, that it lasts 5 years longer, so it's cheaper in the long run. If you want to get really technical on this.
I'm not opposed to using it. Honestly, I'm not. I'm just, the wording is only, that's why I
Yeah,
asked for
that's
legal.
the only thing that's a little concerning for me. Is we asked for a specific product. And that's what the other bidders gave. He's giving us a superior product. It's a little higher. I don't know if the others could give us a superior product for what their current bids are.
What's your recommendation to the court?
I'd recommend that we rebid it if we think Cox is a superior product.
You can't bid his product.
You understand that, to rebid it, might be to, specify a sole source.
Well, I think we were pretty specific from my understanding of what we asked for in the bid. And everyone else gave us that.
Mr. Cox isn't going to bid it that, if I understood him right, he's not going to bid it the way we specified because he won't, it's not a good enough product for him to provide. He provides a different product that is better.
Okay.
I think it's just legal. There's another bidder in the room, and the question was should we include him in this conversation? And I think it's more of just a legal opinion on the wording. I mean, I think we could go back out to bid and leave it more vague, I'm paving this amount. And, then they can bid on it accordingly. It's just kind of harder, and I know that's why he specified the type of oil.
Well, we did let Mr. Cox speak, so if the other pavers in the room, I think he should be able to at least speak to his product.
Would you like to talk? I can share my opinion. Okay, come on up here.
I'd like to hear it. Yeah.
Come on up, Craig.
I mean, I don't really have a dog in this fight. My price was pretty high. Comes with good luck and good backlog. You did specify what you did specify. And normally if you offer value options, you would put a note in your bid to offer a value option. Now, obviously, and I believe what you're using, AR binder or something similar. Okay. So that is a very specific product, and it's strictly the base of it, which is the same oil used in hot mix versus what y'all called out in there, which is a tire rubber, but it's an AC product, which is what we use for chip seal generally when we don't use emulsion. So from my perspective, he's probably got the better value option. I don't know how the other bidders feel as far as this is what y'all told us to bid. And as far as I know, Delta Rock's a single source product. And, given the option to use a pre-coat rock like he's talking about, or just a regular limestone from a different quarry, that option really wasn't given. And that's how, honestly, we bid it. I mean.
So some governmental entities bid below bid, some or practice accepting low bid. Some governmental entities, what experience I had with TxDOT, bid best value, and some bid other ways. But I heard you say he's got the best value or the better value.
His specific product, yes, the binder type product that he uses, but it is somewhat proprietary. I used to work for a company that made it, but you know, there's very few of them in the state, if any. I mean, Ronald Wagner subs out to him for that specific product. That's all Ronald Wagner does is paving.
I guess I'm just going that if we wanted to, as you pointed out, you're sort of up in the upper echelon
Right.
out of it, but if we wanted to choose between him and the next bidder, better value could be a rationale for doing it.
It could, if it was noted in the bid. If you offer, you know, most times they'll say in the bid, value options, you know, or you know, or appreciate or however they word it, but saying that, you know, you can't offer a different option. And believe me, when it comes to chip seal paving, there are a world of options. I mean, I've shot here in the county with an emulsion and a white rock many times. And so it's, you can do that, or you can do this. And he's right. It's not, unfortunately, it's not a science. It very much is an art. And even TxDOT specs say, when you go, you know, shoot, they specify a rate and a rock, but they'll adjust that rate based on local knowledge. And that's generally your maintenance departments and people like that. I would say, even if you did put it out for rebid, if you had to put it out for rebid, that you may specify an option, which may still end up being his product. But it would give everybody else, you know, other options outside of the single source product, which I know somebody said that gives them an opportunity to raise their price. You may get a better option. You may get a cheaper price. You may get the same price, but you know, you clear out all the legal hurdles of the other three bidders going, no, wait a minute, you know, because that does happen. So like I said, in my opinion, I don't really have a dog in the fight, kind of the high guy here, but my opinion is you would put it out for rebid with the specific, with those specific criteria if you want the pre-co, or do value option. But I think it has to be in your bids listed that value options, you know, that the bidder can offer value options, and that y'all get sit up here then and discuss which is the better value. That's just my opinion. So.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's a second and a motion. I will read your mind. You look like you're thinking about withdrawing your second.
Yeah. We're getting legal advice.
Do we have the option, I guess we don't, let's put it on paper, for high and low bid? Judge,
What does that mean?
to eliminate high and low bid?
I saw an auditor shaking her head.
No? Okay.
Saw somebody shaking her head. Why are you shaking your head? Places do that. I don't, he likes it, I don't like it, but people, places do it.
Well, when we have to have that in the bid, have it written in our newspaper, goes out the bid that we will be kicking the high and low bid.
Probably. Yeah, seems like it. Let the world know that's how you're judging.
I like these bids. I think they're gonna come back extremely similar to what they are right now. I'm not trying to create any more work for anybody, because now I get to rewrite the bids anyway on how it's worded. So, but with that being said, I take back my second, and however, I've got to go back to the one we voted on for my precinct.
Well, let's take one step at a time. So there's still a motion on the floor with no second. Anybody seconding the motion? Motion dies for lack of a second. Without any further motions, I think we will have to take the direction that we're going to rebid. Now, moving back to the precinct 4 bid that we already approved. Did you have something, Cyrus?
Yeah, same concern.
So
I guess, could we, I was gonna ask if we could go back to our two lowest bidders and just have them bid bid down there? Is that, no? Okay.
They'll go back to all
Yes.
turnout.
So are you wanting to make the motion to withdraw your prior approval and,
I want to make a motion to withdraw my prior approval of Cox paving as awarding bid for precinct 4.
is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Leesman, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Both projects remain out. So, couple of questions. Well, one is a comment. I hate that we've done all of this really for nothing, start over again. And I personally believe in best value. I've seen a lot of bidding where the low bid, I've seen some low bids that were perfectly fine, and I've seen a lot of bidding where low bid was not the best option. And I hate that the Commissioners Court didn't have that ability to consider that today. Additionally, and this is just personal, I believe that local-based companies should have some consideration, honestly, but I don't know if we do that as well. We should, but I don't know that we do. So, and the question I have, I guess, or the additional concern is, it'll take us a while to go through this process of republication, teeing it up in another Commissioners Court meeting, and it's just gonna delay the projects, and we're in the middle of the season when projects are supposed to be taking off, so that's disappointing.
I'll make this deal, y'all were calling for it to be done by the end of August 31st. Shouldn't be that hard to put back together. Like, you still got the full payment season. So, you're not in bad shape.
All right.
Personal thing, I don't know.
Well, good to hear.
Well, Judge, and I think it gives us the opportunity to take our bid worksheet and revise it, change it and update it to the point where we've got something that's a better product from our end. So when people go out for bid, that'll all be on there. So I've learned something today.
Yeah,
From
I think we did learn something. And not much cost.
All right, well, I think we're concluded with 12 for the time being. Ready to move to 13, releasing the construction bond.
Yes, this is a bond that should have been released here several weeks ago. So I make a motion to release the construction bond for Stanton Business subdivision and move to a maintenance bond.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 14.
What was the problem?
If you look at the maintenance, it is in Dirtworks' name, it is not the developer that is wanting to put up. This whole subdivision, they did not do it correctly. They put up the construction bond, Dirtworks put up the construction bond, and they're also putting up the maintenance bond. We require the developer to do this. Maintenance bond that he emailed specifically is in Dirtworks' name.
Dirtworks did both bonds. I signed off when they completed the job, that they had all their signs up and everything. And, I signed off what they wanted to sign off so they could collect their money. And, then they'll put up the maintenance bond because they're the ones that are liable for the road condition for another, 2 years?
18 months, but it is not Dirtworks. It's the developer that is, that it's.
Well, let me ask, if they went down, if the contractor went out of business, the maintenance bond would be with the developer, right? Because they get somebody else to finish or repair it or whatever needs to be done. I mean, that would be easy for the contractor to not be there anymore. I'm guessing.
Well, but the reverse it's the same with the reverse. Developer goes out of business. That's why you have a bond. That's
Yeah.
the whole point of
The
the
bond
bond.
is
It
gonna
doesn't
be
matter-
there regardless.
Doesn't matter whether it's Dirtworks that goes out of business or the developer that goes out of business.
But don't
That's
we
the point of a
specify,
bond.
do we specify who has to do the bond?
Yes, we do. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
So the concern is the developer is the one who did the application, that was approved for all the things to do. Their work has no obligation to the county, they have an obligation to the developer. Now, if the bond's worded correctly, I mean, I'd have to take a look at it to see if it specifically says Dirt Work is responsible for all the work. And if they don't do it, we can collect on the bond.
What if the contractor leaves and doesn't finish the road because he's not getting paid?
We're not in that part. We're in the maintenance bond.
Maintenance bond. And, the developer has a year bond, a year bond for Dirt Works to maintain it.
My question is, I don't have the bond in my packet, Connie, so, I'm interested in the wording of the bond. Is Dirtworks providing a bond on behalf of a developer?
I just received it.
Dirt Works even did the construction bond, right?
To be made principal and surety bind themselves. They're each of their heirs, executors, administrators, successors, and sons.
The acoustics are such in here, I can't hear you. I can hear you, but it's not clear.
There. Cause it's Dirt Works. And here's the.
So Dirt Works is doing the bond to the developer, not to the county.
See, I don't think I agree with you or Connie that it has to be the developer. I think Ms. Strickland can take out a bond and be responsible for the maintenance of that road for the next year. And if Ms. Strickland goes away, we have a bond to claim on for precinct 2 to fix the road. The question isn't, to me, the question isn't who gets the bond. But as you all have just pointed out, this bond isn't in favor of the county, it's in favor of somebody else.
Right.
And that's a problem. Yes? No?
No, I agree with you.
I don't know what our rules say,
Necessarily
but
have to be the developer.
I don't know what our rules say, but I don't know why it says the developer. Why should we care who gets the bond as long as the county's got a bond?
Well, as long as it's worded properly, yes.
Once it's payable to the county.
Well, not only payable to the county, but it specifies that the person obligated has to do the work, and if they don't,
Yes.
then the county can collect.
Yes, and maybe that's why we want the developer, because it's just logical or makes sense. But for me, the bigger point and the bigger flaw in
Is
this
that it
one.
doesn't name the county.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Commissioner Eager.
I need to withdraw my motion and have them redo the bond with the county as recipient.
And we'll call that your motion and ask Commissioner Weir if he'll second that.
And can I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
And then the bond is approved by the county attorney's office, we can make sure it's working properly.
Okay, yes. Add that to it.
I'll second.
All right, with that motion, now on the table, which will replace the previous motion, is there further discussion? Is there a second, excuse me, there is a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Yet another thing we put off. All right, item 14.
So item 14, coming into our budget session, I know last year we talked a lot about the different options of IT and what we would like to do. And I've had some requests to create a committee to bring a proposition back to the court to, for proposal during budget time. So I'd like to make a motion to create a committee regarding IT contractor / employee.
Is there a second?
A second.
Commissioner Eager. Discussion. Who made the request?
Sheriff's office first off.
Well, I don't want, I know everybody's tired, but I'm not gonna let this go very easily. The last time we started down this road, we wound up spending $50,000 for HR study that wound up making pretty much everybody in the county unhappy. I don't think we satisfied anybody. So, I'm not super excited about that. Additionally, I don't know who's gonna be on this committee?
That's up to, I mean, that's up for discussion.
Well, we're in
I mean,
discussion.
okay, so I would like the sheriff's office to be, I'd like Mr. Woodring to be in this committee. I would like the elections administrator to be in this committee. I would like Mr. Oakley for the emergency services to be in this committee. And I would like one of you, either you or Connie, to be on this committee.
And Oakley, Woodring, Adami, and someone else. I'm not seeing anybody that just jumps out at me as having a lot of technology background.
I talked to Connie about it. I was hoping that she'd be interested in serving on this committee, and I don't know, and she has had a lot of stuff on her plate here lately, so.
So what is it that what is the committee's product?
The committee's product would be to bring back to the commissioners court, an idea for budget purposes for next year's IT department. Or what it should look like, whether it be a sole individual IT person or IT contractor or multiple IT contractors or IT director and contractors or however it all works out. I did have a meeting with, during one of our conferences, and I can't remember the name of the county, but the judge's secretary in that location was very worked up with the IT, and they came up with a solution that they have an IT director and 2 separate contractors that do different things throughout their county, which they're a pretty small county as well. So that was kind of an idea that we might be able to kick around as well.
There'd be enough IT work at the sheriff's department for the sheriff's department to have their own IT person.
That I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. And it's I guess
I don't know. You know?
So there's a
Together.
Huh?
I think it's one for the whole county.
Well, why? Yes.
I mean, we have a lot, but I don't think we have enough.
Would you have enough to hire somebody part-time over there that their sole job is to take care of the sheriff's department to where that, none of that information is out for the rest of the county. So that guy doesn't have everything to do with sheriff's department and the treasury department and everything else, you know, everything throughout the county. That guy just deals strictly with you guys. That person, I don't want to say guy, that person deals strictly with you guys.
I can say one of the complaints I got was, the 24/7 coverage. You know, because in the middle of the 3 AM, there was a wreck that the deputy could not log in. Y'all had to wait on a DPS officer to come work the wreck because that deputy couldn't log in through his IT, through IT.
Right.
And I don't remember the time frame. 2 AM, 3 AM, whatever it was.
But you're talking about a specific complaint. I'm talking about just having, and they know that if something goes down, that they've got to get called out at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's just the way it is. That's a part of their job.
Let me give you a couple of bullets. Texas counties with 100 employees should definitely, absolutely have a dedicated IT department, which we really don't. We're kind of behind the times. The reasons are security, complexity of our infrastructure. There's some operational risk, which we already have experienced last year. An IT department size for 100 employees would have an IT director, a network system administrator, a couple of desktop support people, and probably within those people, they take care of cybersecurity, GIS administration, website administration, project-based contracts, et cetera. So you're looking at that kind of a structure. Typically is going to run $400,000 to $500,000 a piece. The salary for an IT director, it starts at about $100,000. But if you're a county that's near Austin or Dallas Fort Worth, you're going to need to bump that by 10 or 20%. All the salaries you're going to need to bump by 10 or 20%, including the network system administrator, the help desk technician, et cetera. Gillespie County current year budget has in their information systems department a $90,000 employee that I guess runs the information systems, and 2 hourly employees that total $127,000 a piece. Llano County has an exempt employee that they're only paying $60,000, which I proposed to you 3 months ago. But they also have something called computer maintenance in their budget this year for $615,000. And that's in addition to contract services under the information technology department for another $90,000 and machinery and equipment for another $90,000. Burnett County has an IT person at 148. Has, I think, 2 people in IT that together are paid 148,000. So that's 74,000 a piece. And then they have a person that I think, another person that's 69,000 for a total of personnel cost of 220,000. And that's not including all of their support and licensing fees, which run another $255,000, and their total IT support area is well over $600,000. Then there's Leon County, which is very similar to very similar to us in size, and they budget about $218,000 this year, and they have 0 personnel on staff. They have a company, it runs out of Bryan, Texas, and it provides 24/7 support for all of Leon County, which, as I said, they have about 15,000 in population. They apparently, this company, because I asked, even when it sounds real nice that they'll, in the middle of the night, they can remotely handle your computer needs, but someday somebody's gonna need a new computer, and the computer's not gonna walk in by itself. A physical person has to come in there and do that. And I asked about that, and apparently in Leon County, they actually use, this company, while they're, say, 90% remote, they actually come on site to do things like install their computers and whatever. But it's gonna run over $200,000 a year to do that. And then finally, in another county that I don't want to mention the name, who had an incident, kind of like the one we had, only worse. They're still digging out of their incident, and it was in the opposite direction. Ours started at the LEC, and we were worried about the rest of the agent, the county, and it didn't drift over. In this case, it started in what would be this part of the county, and didn't drift over into the LEC and the 911 system and all that, but threatened it. And the county judge in that county, according to my conversation last week, has determined to split the two. She doesn't want the LEC and the county that the treasurer and the rest of us are on the computers on this side to be connected, if you will. I don't know what that means. I assume, the county judge could still email the sheriff in that county, but it would be from one system to another system. And she thinks it's important enough to separate the two because of the, what's the word, the importance of the emergency system. That county also has right now has two employees as an IT department. I think she said they're paying in the neighborhood $140,000, $150,000 for that. And they have a service that also does remote things. Bottom line is, I can tell you without a committee that we're behind the curve, that we're understaffed or underserved. And that is an expensive proposition to catch up.
First off, I agree with you. I think we are behind the curve, and I think that everything that you're saying is accurate. Like, for instance, the lady from Comal County, she was also talked to reference to us, and they had 13 IT people. But this other one, and I cannot remember the name of the county, but they had one IT director, and then they split it out to 2 contracts. That's why I'm thinking, I'm hoping that if we was to form a committee, that they could come back to the commissioners court and say, you know, ideally, this is what it should look like. Maybe it is one IT director and we sub out some other stuff. Maybe it is the law enforcement's, everybody that has Zerker is on one deal and everybody that's not is on another deal. That's what I hope this committee could bring back to us as commissioners, and we can make that decision during budget time, as opposed to us, you know, just guessing.
Well, all due respect to Chief Woodring, I'm not sure he's gonna come up with any better information than I just did looking online last night. And Ms. Dami, I don't know, and Mr. Oakley, he's barely a county employee.
Well, but you know, a lot of our IT stuff bases on other departments, not just county-owned departments. I mean, they rely solely on Zerker.
Okay.
Would you be willing to serve on that committee? Or Connie?
Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure. Do you have a timeline in mind?
I'm just looking for budget purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the budget
Was
requests are already in.
due in the end of this month, so, but I know it takes us a few months to get working through it all, so. I don't know, maybe, and then, I'm not saying that the committee has to meet in person, I don't know, however, but put your heads together and get a game plan for the county as a whole. Whether it be different, one, however it works out, it doesn't matter, I'm just trying to get a game plan.
I'm pausing because I'm actually thinking if we've got enough of the right people here on this list.
Yeah, and that's a whole other question, who is the right people, I don't know. I asked Mr. Riley to do it, and he said he was not the right person.
Well, somebody used to install computers.
I'd rather not, thank you.
That's kind of the answer.
That was 100 years ago, where a 1 gig hard drive was $3,000.
I changed a little bit since then.
Our fire marshal's pretty young, he's got probably pretty good at I'm just here to talk about Birmingham.
And I was also trying not to overload it with, all law enforcement agencies. Josh Busey would be good at it, there's all kinds of, but I was trying to get a different, that's why I asked Rosemary if she would be interested. Because I didn't want to come up here just empty-handed. Kathy said she would love to do it. Not really, she did not say that, but.
I'm thinking about Miss Speeds.
Speeds will be a good one.
Sure.
You're working with an entirely different system than the county, right?
One of my systems.
PPS.
And I'm sure there's assistance that we can get from TAC to come out and help, maybe with that committee as well.
So one of my concerns is, I don't want to alienate the existing provider because we're in a sensitive time period. Specifically, the servers, I think this very day, our provider is on the hunt for new servers, because our servers are already at the point of needing to be replaced. They are, in addition, they are sitting over there in the courthouse and they are scheduled to be relocated. But my idea was, why relocate them if we're just gonna turn around and replace them, and they're in need of replacing pretty soon. So we're looking at him or us buying new servers, placing them in this building, I think. And then obviously there'll be a handoff from those servers to these servers. That's a pretty sensitive thing to be doing at a pretty sensitive time, and I just don't want to disrupt all of that in the middle. So, so this committee, I think, I hope it's sort of a long-term look and not an immediate kind of thing, because we're vulnerable, as I see it. But we're also, as I pointed out, as you agreed, we're behind the times as far as, and it's a question of a lot of growth. The county grew kind of fast, and here we are. And ways of help. And I think there's a debate that really needs to go on. Surprisingly, some people at the LEC say, no, we don't want to be untethered, but there are people out there who had experiences that say definitely want to be untethered. So, I don't know. And honestly, I mean, looking at it from my side of the table, I don't really want to be responsible because my computer got hacked or whatever, that the 911 system goes down. So, I mean, just as a matter of personal, personal pride, I don't want to have that responsibility.
Be that person
Yeah, I don't want to be that person.
that opened that one link. I agree with you, and hopefully that's something that this committee can bring back to us and say, hey, we've asked around and, you know, here's our recommendation to the court, whatever it may be.
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Item 15, replats.
All right, so this one we talked about out on Narrows Road, where we're taking 10 lots and going down, but actually moving supply lines, but there will be less lots in the end. So with that being said, I move to approve to replat lots 40 and 103 through 109 and Forest View North subdivision, new lots to be known as lots 40R1, 40R2, 103R, 105R, and 108R.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Weir, discussion.
With this scratched out, did that easement go away?
Are 40A and B just colored on there for reference? They're not part of this?
No, that's 40A and 40B.
Right, but are they not part of?
Yeah, so they'll go to like 40R1 and 40R2.
That's what they become?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And that proposed driveway is scratched out, we're both going to have narrow road access.
All three are actually gonna have, because you still have
So
this one and then this one here that's staying.
So the little brown driveway that has cross marks means just don't consider it.
Don't consider it, it's not happening. That's just the original.
Yeah, they all got frontage anyway.
Yeah, they all have frontage anyway.
Commissioner Weir seconded, right?
Yes, sir.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Burn ban.
Hello. So we did get some rain. It was nice, but with the heat wave coming this week, things are drying out fast. Starting today, tomorrow, the relative humidity is below 10%. When it gets that low, that's when the risk of like blowouts and chains drag and cause grass fires. Talked to each of the 3 fire departments. They're all recommending, as well as myself, as implementing a burn ban for Blanco County due to the conditions changing this week.
So for Ms. Wallace recording, you are Matt.
Oh, my name is Matt. I'm the fire marshal. Sorry.
Do you have a recommendation on time frame?
I do not. I know typically whatever the standard is, and then if we get moisture, we can review it.
So you went by kind of fast, and I told you yesterday, I thought it was worth repeating. So when you get up, they're claiming it's gonna get up 105, 108. And you said, when it gets to that level and with your humidity index, a blowout can cause a fire.
Yeah, so typically, when humidity dries out the grass and the moisture that much, that simple things as cars having blowouts, chains dragging from trailers will be enough to cause a grass fire. So with that said, we'll run that risk just on its own. And hopefully with the burn ban, we take the risk of people's burn piles not getting out of control and putting extra work. And with the heat, not only the humidity being that low, but with the heat and the heat index being this high for May and breaking records probably this week, we also risk firefighters for heat exhaustion, heat stroke, for having to fight fire. So this hopefully will reduce that risk.
Anyone? Take a debate.
Drought index, the last 2 days have gone up 6 points a day. I'm assuming today and tomorrow they'll probably jump 10 to 15, given the humidity being so low.
So I'll make a motion to put the burn ban on effective today at noon until, what is this month, May?
May.
Yeah. We'll just go ahead and do for the full 90 days. Or until that meeting that coincides with approximately 90 days. August the 12th at 12 noon. And if for some reason we get rain on Memorial Day, then we can take that off. Fingers crossed, but not as much as we've had in the past.
Not that much.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Riley, discussion. I'm imagining, I don't disagree, I think it's the right thing to do, but I'm imagining that we're gonna be going back and forth in the next 90 days, there'll be rain, I'm hoping that June will be what it's supposed to be, which is, people don't realize it's supposed to be a wet month. And then it'll dry out in July. I can see us doing this.
Yeah, and that's.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 17. We received the revised, it's really a change order, I guess, from Stoddard, and I know y'all are tired of it, but I think you need to know this information. So after the Stoddard folks peeled away everything and was able to see what is there in the structure, it became apparent that there were some things that even maybe the engineers haven't seen before. We have Ron Dorsey and anybody just want with Stoddard, so he'll be able to correct me when I say this wrong or to answer your questions. But essentially, when they were able to peel it away and they discovered some more things that were defective, and the engineer and the architect and the builder all got together and revised what it was going to take to finish off the job. And the bottom line is it's going to take another $426,990, which is what I'm asking for today. But I want to give you a little more detail. Commissioner Riley was actually around that day and went up with us to see what we saw. And what was interesting to me is that some of the work that was done in 1997 with the steel beams and all of that has been affected. I guess I won't say it's failed, but it's definitely been affected. There are pieces of red iron bordering both sides of probably 2x12 structures, and both the 2x12s and the red iron have a curve that they shouldn't have, and it wasn't there before, I don't think. They put a laser on the structure last week, and the walls are, I think it's the north wall is 8 inches out and the south wall 6 inches out, or maybe vice versa. I commented to the construction manager that Well, that's what they said in 1997, and the work that was done was supposed to pull those walls back in. His answer I didn't much care for was that there are no, what do you call them, cables?
No, stress cables.
Stress cables. There are no stress cables up there that would have done that pulls the walls back in. So whatever they did, and we know, I mean, we know they did stuff, with big old beams in there. But, maybe 1997 technology wasn't up to snuff for 2025. All I know is, we need to add on to the existing bid by another $426,000 to get the cupola up, to get the courthouse structure safe, and be able to re-enter and conduct business there. So, with that said, oh, and as far as how to pay for it, yeah, obviously the project's still gonna probably be extended a little longer than he had, Mr. Dorsey may comment on that in a minute, or it may not extend longer, who knows, maybe they may speed up. But as far as us paying for it, we haven't really dipped too deeply into what was budgeted for this year, so I think there's a lot to still get us to where we need to get, and we can talk about next year's budget pretty soon. And then, as you know from Mr. Nippendorf, our reserves are fine, so we can afford this if we, in several ways, if we need to afford it. Not to mention the fact that there's still nearly $100,000 left over from the Starflight special fund. So there's pieces of money to pay for this. I just need to get you to approve doing it. But if you have any questions, and maybe Mr. Dorsey wants to comment.
Yes, sir. Basically, I guess kind of in a nutshell, what this change does, the structural engineer pretty much added steel throughout the building from the courthouse all the way down to the ground floor. There will be 16 steel columns coming down. He's essentially created a structure within the courthouse structure to eliminate any stresses on the exterior walls more than has already happened. It requires us to go into 4 areas on the ground floor, tear out concrete, put in grade beams. There will be 8 columns installed on the ground floor up to the structure above, and then columns sitting on top of those columns up underneath all the steel that was already designed previously. So that there is a considerable amount of steel going in with all the demo work downstairs and the additional time. Again, we hope it doesn't take that entire time. But again, the initial investigative work, the structural engineer wants us to take out the piece of slab in each office downstairs. He wants to come review the conditions before we go too far to see if there's anything that he's not anticipating there. We need to expose some of the foundation wall, things such as that we can actually pour the concrete without anything deteriorating. It includes, finishing the offices back off into the condition they were when we got there. Basically repaint, new ceiling, carpet if necessary, in those 4 areas. And the little bit of general conditions time that we had, we didn't charge fully for any of that. We never do. Tried to keep it as economical as possible, but the majority of this is all structural related.
I forgot to mention that, so thank you that you're cutting into the first floor slab, the actual slab of the courthouse going all the way down, and that this would happen. It would look like another column, and Judge Broadbeck's office, the mail room, and a couple other areas will still be functional. They'll just have another 2x2 column, whatever size it's going to be.
Yeah, there's 2 columns in each of those 4 rooms. And when we get them all installed, it's up to you guys. We would ask you to review it, but it could be as simply as, painting those columns since they're going to be fairly close to the existing exterior wall. or if you want them boxed in with drywall or something like that, that's an option as well.
And then you, last we heard, you determined you weren't gonna cut through the first floor ceiling, second floor slab. There would be like a column up to that slab and then a column on top of the.
That is correct. There's a structural concrete beam at the outside wall. So the first floor columns will sit on the new grade beam to the bottom of that structural beam. And then up in the courtroom, there'll be a column placed directly on top of that, going up to the new framework that's up in the ceiling. So it can all be supported independently of the exterior walls.
A week or two ago, you did a scan. I guess I'd liken it to an X-ray or a CAT scan, but you did a scan of the slabs and the walls. And have you got the results yet?
Yes, he has the results. He's got it all marked out on the carpet over there, and that's something else that Mr. Smith will come review once we remove a piece of the slab. The downstairs slab doesn't appear to have any rebar in it whatsoever, but it's fairly thick at about 5.5 inches, and it would appear to have been poured on grade. There should be soil underneath it. The upstairs, the slab was poured across the tops of the walls and the structural beam on the outside wall. And then another masonry structural wall that forms the corridors was built on top of that. So second floor, we shouldn't have an issue at all. The only concern would be is the type of soil we run into. And I really don't see an issue with that other than him maybe wanting to excavate deeper and come back with some more compacted fill underneath the slab. It's just one of those things. He doesn't know what's there until we cut the slab out.
So we ran into this same issue at another slab that we did. And if there is existing rock, let's just call it dolomite for example, if there's dolomite underneath that, would it be your goal to remove that dolomite to replace it with concrete?
That's totally up to the structural engineer. We don't have an opinion on that since he's the one stamping the drawings. But those are conditions that he's currently wanting to review to see where we would hit shale or rock or dolomite. And right now he's got a beam scheduled to be, I think it's 18 inches wide and 24 inches deep. So again, once we start removing these areas, as soon as this is approved, we'll have him come out, we'll do our digging and have him come out and review the conditions and see if he has any modifications to anything.
And then another question I have is on the first floor, the columns that you're proposing on the first floor, are they going to be, I heard you say that the two are going to be up against the exterior wall. Are the other ones going to be, in conjunction with a wall where they're not in the middle of a room and utilize or deteriorating office space?
No, they're going to be as close to the exterior wall as they can be, not through a window opening in any way. And once we determine how big that concrete beam is upstairs, we basically have to mount that column centered in that structural concrete beam. So I would think from the exterior wall to the center of that column couldn't be more than 8 inches, 10 inches, give or take a little bit off the wall, if it's that far. Because he does have, I believe those columns are 5x5 tube columns scheduled with a 10x10 base plate.
They're proposed to be in the northeast corner of the mail room, the southwest corner of Broadbeck's room, the southeast corner of Celia's kind of closeted area, and the northeast corner of the treasurer's office.
Yes, yeah, like I say, there's 2 in each office, and they will be located as far to the inside corner as possible and as close to the wall as possible.
2 in each office?
Sir?
2 in each office?
No, 1 in each office. And the reason it's 8 is they're counting the 4.
Okay.
No, to correct that, no, there is 2 in every office. Currently, he has 2. There's 16 total. 8 on the ground floor, 8 on the second floor.
That's not.
Now, were both of them going in, say like Judge Broadbeck's office, weren't y'all talking one going outside in the hallway at the doors?
He has no structure in the hallway anymore, and we're not dealing with any of the hallway anymore. And I can kind of come down and review those drawings that he sent, but if you look at his plan, there is 2 columns in each one of the 4 spaces. And he's got them as far to the, to the outside corners and against the wall as possible.
And corrected.
And that was to help support that existing twisted beam and be able to put stub columns on top of that to carry the new structure that was bid previously.
One more thing, yesterday we were informed that, because this crane is a giant crane that goes 350 feet high, and it's gonna take up a lot of parking spaces, are probably on the south side of the courthouse, but as of yesterday, I was told it's gonna take 2 cranes, one on the south side and one on the north side. And that they might possibly, depending on what the crane people say, be able to put the north side crane off of the parking lot structure into the actual yard, or maybe not. We don't know yet.
All of that is still up for debate. It's really left up to the erection company whether or not they need the second crane. We're pushing for the second crane, but it's their ultimate decision, since they're the ones responsible for the installation of the structural steel.
So,
and again, this would be on a daily basis. This isn't something the crane would be out there for multiple days at a time. It would be one day to install one side and then another day to install the second side is the plan.
So is anyone willing to make the motion to approve the additional?
I'll make a motion to approve the updated cost estimate of the courthouse repairs in the amount of approximately $426,990.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Weird discussion.
So just to confirm, this is an updated cost estimate, so this
would be added on to the, I don't have the exact number, but I want to say it's 2.5 million.
Okay.
So it's we're approaching 3. Anyone else? So, Mr. Dorsey, do you have a thought about timeline? What this does to the timeline?
I have an opinion right now. I know the next probably 3, if not 4 weeks, will be getting updated steel shop drawings and trying to get them approved. But in that process, we can still be doing on the investigative work on the inside. So hopefully we'll be making up some time there. God forbid he finds anything else we need to address. I'm praying that doesn't happen. And once we get through that submittal process and we can officially take field measurements, they're telling me 3 to 4 weeks for steel to show up at the job site. So in that meantime, we're going to be prepping, opening up the roof, figuring out ways to keep, Mother Nature out of the building while we're waiting for steel to show up. I'm thinking minimum of 4. There's going to be some finish work in those offices once all this is done. I'm sure he's going to tell us once we pour those footers, I can't put any weight or structure on it for 30 days until we get concrete testing, in that says it's, meeting the PSI that's required. We'll do as much as we possibly can while we're waiting for all of this information to come in.
With regard to your prayers, it doesn't seem like there's much more that they could find.
I agree with you, Judge. again, the only thing I can see that would end up being an issue of any kind is if we hit anything funny once we cut out the slab, which I'm really hoping we don't.
Okay. Further discussion? Motion's made by Commissioner Riley, seconded by Commissioner Weir. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And opposed? Motion carries. Item 18.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
So second,
Second.
Commissioner Leachman, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We adjourn.